From KGW News, this is a special edition. The Good Stuff.
Hello and welcome to a festive edition of The Good Stuff. We're live tonight for the big return of a neighborhood light display, Peacock Lane. You can drive or walk through to see the lights, but there will be no pedestrian-only nights this year. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Brittany Falkers, and this event has so many of us excited. It was canceled last year due to the pandemic, so residents are expecting some big crowds, and they're expecting them to be even bigger than in years past. They're asking you to be careful of other visitors, whether on foot or in your car. You can see all the folks walking out, some drivers out there too. It just makes me feel so holly jolly to see all of this, right? Now the lights will be on from 6 to 11 each night. Organizers recommend going later in the night though if you want to avoid those peak crowds. I just love taking in those lights, especially with it shining off the rainy pavement. Looks so pretty. So how does your own Peacock Lane look? We want to see your holiday decorations. The outside of my house needs some work, but the inside is very holly jolly. We started decorating around the fireplace and still haven't stopped yet. I think my favorite little part of this, though, is that light up Santa on the mantle. It's my favorite part. Well, let's see some of your decorations and holiday lights. Check out Renee's house in Hermiston. It's decked out with inflatables, cutouts, and the lights to boot. Great display. Stephanie's holiday display showcases some great holiday movies. If you look closely, you're going to see The Grinch, The Abominable Snowman, and then that major award in the window. And if you don't get that reference, please, I implore you, you need to watch the 1983 classic A Christmas Story this holiday season. That leg lamp makes an appearance. Paula decorates from the top down at her house. Check it out. She says ornaments from the ceiling is a family tradition, going strong for 50 years now. That is commitment, and I'm here for it. And I gotta share this one because there's dogs in the photo. Amy shared this shot of her outdoor deck tree, brightly lit. Even so, she says the pooches aren't paying too much attention to the decorations. They're more interested in the errant raccoon cubs in their yard. That's a whole nother story I'm very intrigued by. And take a look at Patrick's place out in Astoria. Good use of lights there. And look at this one that Cam posted on Twitter. This is the tree out in front of his house. He says that kids in the neighborhood actually came out and hung the ornaments for them. I'm just imagining how heartwarming that must have been. Maybe some Charlie Brown Christmas theme music in the background. Just a scene right out of a Christmas movie. And you can share your photos and stories of good stuff happening in your community. You can text that number right there on your screen. You can post it to social with the hashtag KGWTheGoodStuff or email me at thegoodstuff@kgw.com. The holiday lights are also sparkling in Silverton. The city's Christmas market is in full swing at the Oregon Garden. It features millions of lights, cozy fire pits, festive food, and hot cocoa. Local artists have one-of-a-kind handcrafted gifts for sale, and there are also imported German goods. On top of all of that, there's a snowless tubing hill, a beer garden, and, of course, Santa Claus.
It's nice to just get out and be around a group of people. It just brings all of our spirits up and everything.
Tubing and food and little shops and all the lights and music. There's so much for everyone.
Lights are sparkling. Yeah.
Oh, there really is so much for everybody there. That tubing looked like a blast, too. And you can go check it out for yourself. The market runs through January 9th. It is closed on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. And keep in mind here, you do have to buy your tickets online in advance. Well, this time of year, high school bands are busy performing those winter concerts, right? But at Woodburn High School, it's about more than just the music. Their program is helping students share their heritage with the community. Catherine Cook shows us how.
It doesn't take long at all to recognize something is different about the Woodburn High School band program. The classics, impressive as ever, are all sort of a prelude to the moment when the kids in red take the stage together.
it feels amazing to be able to express like the music that I grew up listening to.
Senior Aaron Espinoza is a proud member of Woodburn High School's mariachi band. The school has offered the class to students for the last 17 years. But for Aaron, it's worth much more than school credit. It's a way to celebrate his Mexican heritage through musical art.
And that's what's so beautiful about being able to come out here and play for everyone. It's like we all have different cultures and backgrounds, and we all come from different places, and at the end, music brings us together, and it's really nice that we can see people in the audience smile and they clap and they cheer, and it's like, wow, you know, we did that.
And I think it's very powerful for us to share that.
For junior Kimberly Herrera, mariachi is synonymous with family. Hers is a culture shared by so many in Woodburn, but she says that doesn't always mean they feel seen.
People in the Latino community, when they see us perform and see a high school mariachi, I feel like they feel represented.
It's more important than just, let's say you go to a restaurant, see a mariachi, then go home, forget about them the next day.
10 years ago, band director Nadia Maximov was herself a student musician on this very stage, playing mariachi.
Wow, that's probably the best I've heard you guys play that.
She gets it.
Music, you don't have to know the language, you don't have to know what they're singing about, you can feel it, and that's powerful.
That's Karen Capetillo Soto. Her mother is incredibly proud.
It's just a blessing to see the whole group perform live and just perform their culture.
Many parents, even Aaron's mom, weren't sure their kids would embrace mariachi the way generations before them have. But the music, it turns out, embraced them.
His energy is just like, I'm so glad that he's got that love for our Latino music.
Thank you very much.
As part of the program here, these students often get to perform in the community. In fact, they'll be at the Arlene Schnitzer Concert Hall Wednesday night to perform ahead of the Mariachi Sol de Mexico concert. To learn how to have them out at your community event, we'll post information on KGW.com. In Woodburn, Catherine Cook, KGW News.
What a cool program and a really great story. Love to see that. Well, it's the best of times or the worst of times. It just depends on who you ask. Next, we'll get out there to a local nature retreat that just may be the perfect place to visit when the rain and cold keeps most people inside. Today is a big day for the KGW Great Toy Drive. It's the Parade of Toys, a time when all donations are gathered in one spot. Hundreds of our collection partners came to the Lloyd Center site, dropping off thousands of toys today. Sponsors like Fred Meyer also came out to celebrate the success of this year's drive.
We hear it from our customers and we hear it from our associates. They want to make a difference. This is our community. This is the community that we call home. And so I'm always humbled to see the community come together and make a difference for these families.
And this is just one important day of the drive this week. On Friday, 130 nonprofits will head to the Lloyd Center site to pick up toys once they're all sorted through. Then they'll distribute them to families just in time for Christmas. Even in the colder weather, there are still plenty of options for getting out there. John Goodwin braves today's wet and chilly conditions to take us to a beautiful spot just a short drive from downtown.
Kind of a miserable day, but on the other hand, maybe a perfect day, depending on how you look at it. Besides, if this is what we have to put up with to earn those summer days, might as well make the most of it. Welcome to the Tualatin River National Wildlife Refuge, one of 18 in Oregon.
They were designed explicitly to protect and preserve wildlife.
Matt Wostradowski is a writer and guidebook author from Bend. He recently wrote an article for Travel Oregon about the year-round beauty of wildlife refuges, no matter the weather.
These are some of my favorite days to get outdoors, actually. A lot of people decide, they see the rain, they see the temperatures, and they say no thanks.
You can still hear the highway, but once you get out on the refuge a little bit, that kind of disappears, and that's really an incredible thing.
Todd McKinney is the lead park ranger for the Tualatin River National Wildlife Refuge Complex.
All kinds of waterfowl, as you can see, lots of pintails, buffleheads, mallards, just all kinds of birds out here on the water. Deer, you'll see fox, coyotes if you're lucky. We have river otters, beavers, lots of beavers out here.
As always, know before you go. The refuge has a seasonal trail currently closed for wildlife protection. There is an out and back trail open year-round. It makes for about a 2-mile stroll.
You can connect to that from the parking lot. That winds through an oak savanna, a riparian forest, and takes you out to the wetland overlook where you can see all of this a little bit closer.
So maybe a day like this is the perfect kind of day to visit your nearest wildlife refuge. Away from the metro area, away from the crowds.
It seems incredible that we get to enjoy such a diverse range of natural beauty all around Oregon.
There's all kinds of things to see, not just the wildlife, but also in the trees and the forest, you know, all the plants and everything out there. It's really a tranquil place to visit.
I'm John Goodwin. Let's get out there.
Once again, John, you've added another place to my bucket list. Well, new campsites, upgraded facilities, and added summer camp programs. Coming up next, a look at what Oregon has planned for a big funding influx just for state parks. And as we head to break, here's another live look from Peacock Lane. The lights are back on Portland's Christmas Street from 6 to 11 every night. You can see things are bustling down there right now. You can see that until the end of the new year, of this year.